He's an 8-time Louisiana Association of Broadcasters Award winner. And he snapped a ball through his legs.
Wait, why does your name get to go first?
Shut up.
This is Scone T.
Because they made us.
All right, welcome in. Scone T. We're at Oliver Twist. Perkins Road in Baton Rouge on the eve of the NFL draft.
The mics actually sound like functional and clear today.
We got a new mic.
Oh,
new mics.
Okay, dude.
New mics.
Hell yeah. No,
Yes.
seems great on mine.
New mics.
Maybe turn me down a tad, Moose, but otherwise they're golden.
New
Hell
mics.
yeah, dude.
Yeah. So, it helps sometimes.
Moving on. Oh, I'm so hungry.
It's the egg rolls.
Pepper jack boudin egg rolls with that sweet sauce.
That braised, I think it's braised pork, isn't it? Oh, my God. That might be that is my favorite thing on the menu here. Oh, God.
Oh, my word.
Of course, he puts these down here right when we start. He's going to make me Jimmy Ott this thing and eat on air. Whatever. I don't care. I'm doing it. All right. That's fine. It's actually better when you don't talk. The show's way better. All right, we are at Oliver Twist, and I'm excited about today, man. A lot of good energy around. I love the draft. We'll get into that. What the Saints might do, what LSU players might go. LSU
that was fucking good.
Baseball, 3-game series this weekend with Alabama coming in, the Crimson Tide. We got Balvini here. Are you a Scotch guy? You're an everything guy.
No. But the first thing that I got into post college was single malt Scotch. So yeah, I mean I would say I'm a Scotch guy.
Wiggins,
for sure.
What's the deal on the pour? 16.
16 a pour at break even. So this is an expensive
Balvini.
boy.
That's like my thing is, as much as I love whiskey, $500 a bottle. Oh my God. And that is such a generous pour for a $500 bottle. Cheers. Thank you, Wiggins. So $16 is incredible. What would you normally charge retail on a pour? $90.
$90 normally for a pour, $16, and my God, that is fucking tasty.
All right.
That is so good. I mean, single malt is my original straight liquor that I started drinking. I remember we got to the end of college, and me and my roommate were like, we're about to be adults now. We have to start drinking Scotch like men. And so we forced ourselves to down a fifth of Dewar's White Label. And I remember thinking it was awful at first, loving it by the end, but loving it because I was hammered. But then, I spent years whenever I go to any sort of bar, not like I'm out like partying bar, but I'm getting a drink at a bar. I spent years only ordering single malt Scotch. So Balvini, Dalwhinnie.
Balvini, yeah. I don't.
Lafroy. I got real into Lafroy for a while there. Lafroy.
I don't. My whole thing's I've never really developed a taste for Scotch. I don't like the smoky, peaty flavor of Scotch.
Tastes like Middle Earth.
And what I've kind of learned is that there are tons of Scotches that not all of them taste like that, and this is certainly evidence of that. That's fantastic. We'll get into some of that flavor profile a little, but I've just never taken the time to really deep dive into Scotch. But this is magnificent. Wow. Why wouldn't you come here over the next 2 hours if you love Scotch and try something that would normally cost you $90 for a $16 pour? That's pretty incredible. And you know what else too? I want to say
that's interesting too, because it is actually very smooth. There's not a ton of bite to it, but it retains its flavor. I guess there's some stuff that we've had here that is so smooth that I'm kind of like, it's kind of whatever. This still has a lot of interest to it, I would say, even though it's not burning at all.
So what you would say so if you were trying to describe it, you would talk about the finish is what you were talking about. Okay, so that warm Kentucky hug that whiskey will give you. If it doesn't have that, typically you're talking about lower proof whiskey that would just sort of dissipate and not be very complex and have a flavor that lasts really long. And by the way, you said before that you don't really understand or your palate or describe and all that stuff. I think that's crap, because I've heard you on your Munchie segments with Michael Johnson, where you go into great detail about all the different flavors and textures and all kind of stuff. So I think you are way better at that than you either care to admit or know to admit.
Well, it's very kind of you. I'm not entirely sure because generally,
I've heard you do it.
But this. Yeah, but I can't pick out oak or leather or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, you could.
I can't exactly tell you what I don't think I can adequately describe what I'm tasting right now, except that it is. Okay, I know we need to get to the show, but this is probably my favorite break-even bottle that potentially we've ever had.
So the first thing that you'll notice on the palate is spice. You will get rich maple and spice is the first thing on the palate. Right whenever it first hits your palate, you'll feel this it just pops instantly. It almost feels like a firecracker in your mouth.
Yeah,
it's the first. That is the spice from whatever the mash. I don't know the mash bill on this, but you feel it immediately. You go pop, right in your mouth. That spice. You get spice a lot with rye. Rye tends to be a spicy spirit, so that's interesting that you get spice. And then you do get, something you'll get, it's like Cinnaburst gum. You ever eat Cinnaburst or Big Red?
I don't know. I don't know that I'm getting. I don't know that that's triggering for me. The Big Red or the Cinnaburst, but maybe
it's a light finish.
Maybe it is actually. I mean, I have a great numbness in my mouth, in my throat, in my chest.
Okay. Trades Green.
Oh, yeah, big-time recruit, huh?
Trades Green. Raymond said, how about that tight end commit today?
What, LSU's got the number 2 class in 2024 now?
Oh, really? I thought it was 9.
No, I think, I don't know. I saw a tweet. I don't know what service it's on, but I saw a tweet today that said that.
So LSU got 14 commits now. Trades Green from East Feliciana committed. Yeah, look, 2024 on 3 has LSU number 9.
Okay.
And with 14 commits. So Trades Green, I'm excited about that one, man. It's the number 2 player in the state, the number 3 tight end in the country, a top 60 overall player in the composite.
Oh, damn.
So a really big time prospect. And the other thing that I like about it a lot is when Brian Kelly got the LSU job, we really talked about 2 positions that he recruited and developed really well at Notre Dame: tight end and offensive line.
Yeah.
Right. So just look at what they were able to do with Mason Taylor coming in. They're very thin there. They got 3 true freshmen in this class that are coming in. So you're still going to be young there. Now you add Trades Green. All of a sudden you're stockpiling a position that Brian Kelly recruits and develops very well. So yeah. I'm really actually excited about him. And then the other thing, do you remember last year when we were doing Scone T? Because I remember we talked about this at length on the show here. But whenever oh God, who was the defensive back that the defensive back that went to Texas, the 5-star.
I can't remember.
I'm blanking on his name.
I don't know. I'm not the best at recruiting.
Me either. But remember, we kind of had this thing. It was can Brian Kelly recruit Louisiana? Because Arch went to Texas and Eli Holstein committed to Alabama.
There was a lot of weird situations where you were never getting all the top players,
absolutely,
regardless of who was recruiting. But it did directly coincide with Kelly's first class. So it was you could connect the dots and make that critique. Although I think a little further digging kind of showed that it was potentially false.
Derek Williams out of Westgate is who I was thinking of. So remember, Arch goes to Texas, Derek Williams goes to Texas, Holstein picks Bama, Tack Curtis, who was never coming to LSU,
yeah.
He always wanted to leave. He picked USC. Jordan Matthews from Woodlawn went to Tennessee. You remember? So it's Jaden Osbury picked Notre Dame. You're it's Verge's kid, but both of his kids left. They weren't coming.
Bro, they grew up on U High.
They were ready to leave, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So there was this feeling and they finished strong. They got Lance Hurd, Shelton Sampson obviously committed. They got Kylan Jackson, Caleb Jackson, Tyree Adams, Ricky Collins. So you ended up really getting a strong core of Louisiana prospects. But I think this class was going to be important, or is going to be important, to say, all right, first full recruiting class.
Yeah.
Right? It's your first really full, I guess the one they just signed would be his first.
They've had a year. No, but they've had a year to look at the product that he's put on the field.
Yes. And then you're fully invested with this staff into these prospects. And when you look at what they've been able to do so far. Like, check this out, T. So the top player in Louisiana, Dominic McKinley, the crystal ball has him 93% to LSU, right? Most people assume. You got Trey'Dez Green committed, the second highest player. Third highest player is Wardell Mack, 96% crystal ball to LSU. The fourth highest player, Tylen Singleton, 86% crystal ball to LSU. Deshaun McBride and Kalaj Cobbins are both already committed, the sixth and seventh best players in the state. Juwan Johnson just decommitted from Colorado. Yeah. He's next. I mean, basically, like...
That's crazy. That's like the entire top 10.
The top 10, like 8 of the top 10 are all projected to go.
But the top,
or either committed or projected to go.
And then...
There's 10 right there.
Yeah, 10 right there. Yeah, so really
99%
9 of the 10.
The only 2 are... no, here. Okay, yeah. So Michael Turner from John Curtis is the only one who's
with
not...
Ole Miss and
he may not even have an LSU offer.
With Ole Miss and Tulane leaving, that means that LSU might not be
He may not have an offer. So, anyway, I guess that my point is...
He's recruiting Louisiana just fine.
Yes, he's doing just fine. Whatever the conversation was a year ago, we could probably let that die. Now he's got to finish on all these guys and get them signed and enrolled and all that stuff. But yes, it appears to be going quite well.
It was a very strong year one. Things appear LSU football right now feels like a very well-oiled machine. As well-oiled as it has been since the Nick Saban days. And as we talked about when Brian Kelly was hired, that makes complete sense, right? Because, like, you're talking about a coach whose resume is unparalleled. I mean, the winningest coach of college football, right? He doesn't have the national championship. But, I mean, like, he is up there with whoever you want to throw up there, Saban, Day, like, the best coaches in the country. I think you're seeing what it feels like to live in an ecosystem when you truly have a top 5 coach in the country.
Yeah, man. Like, do you think I don't know. I didn't get to hear really much of what you and Jake talked about after Saturday with the spring game or coming out of the spring. But like, it's the time of year where you end up doing a lot of interviews, right? I mean, everyone does their spring recaps and all. It's just and you do a lot of, like, reciprocal radio. And
I'm kind of getting that cinnamon now you're talking about. But, yeah, go ahead.
The interesting thing, like, literally every single interview that I've done, like, literally all of them, 100% of them, like, not an exaggeration. The first question from every one of them, biggest difference year 1 to year 2 of Brian Kelly, like, literally everyone asked the same first question. And then somewhere along the way, we get to, like, should LSU, be considered the favorite in the West in 2023? And I believe they should be.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
Like, I understand Vegas is looking to get action on both sides of the line, and so Bama is going to be, because they're Bama, that's what it's going to be. But, like, if I actually look at a lot of objective yet circumstantial evidence, I think LSU should be the favorite to win the West. I'm not saying they will. They got to go. But, like, if I'm sitting here today saying, like, who has a better chance, and I would say who's got fewer questions against the most manageable schedule, I think that's LSU.
No, I completely agree. I think right now, I think that LSU, without a doubt, in terms of starting frontline talent, is better. I think that LSU's in, and this makes sense because it's only year 2 of the Brian Kelly era, I think that LSU does have some depth concerns. Now some of these are going to be allayed by transfers that you end up bringing in. I mean, I saw Mason Lunsford at the game. I got to talk to him for a little bit. So there are some offensive line depth concerns, as well as some other positions. Like running back, you didn't have any guys out there, so you didn't get a fully
I'm not worried about running back. I'm not worried
literally
about everybody's back. Yeah. Wait, I'm going to ask you about offensive line.
Here's all I'll say.
I'll come back to it.
The short answer is just that I think LSU's front line, without a doubt, is better, and can't ignore the fact that they have a top 10 returning quarterback, whereas Alabama's kind of scrambling for a quarterback. But I do think probably top to bottom, Alabama's roster is probably better, but I don't know that it matters if their, like, 75th guy is better than your 75th guy right now. So, LSU should be the favorite. Now, the thing about Bama is they are only a quarterback away, right? They have really good weapons. They continue to recruit well. If they get a great quarterback, which I don't think they have, but if they get a great quarterback, then they'll be championship caliber again. But I think it's too much to ask to overcome replacing 2 coordinators, placing a Heisman Trophy-winning quarterback, and according to Bill Connolly's returning production numbers, they rank 125th in the country
Because
in returning the production.
And Jahmyr Gibbs, who accounted for their whole fucking offense.
Defensive production as well, like team production. So it is, these are all very high recruits who you'll likely see in the NFL one day, but it's a lot of unproven, man, and it's new coaches leading them as well.
I'll come back to Bama, but so I wanted to ask you about offensive line. So how much depth do you feel you need in the way, and just to spell it out, so 6 of your top 7 guys are back, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to return the 5 starters that we know. If you want to go Campbell, Dellinger, Frazier, Turner, and Emory Jones.
Yep.
And then Marlon
Martinez. You feel good about being a starting
6 of your top 7.
guy.
You had Mason Lunsford, who's played a bunch. And you're bringing in Lance Hurd, right? He's a 5-star, and he's still a freshman, but, you should be able to, I think of
7 is the bare minimum. 8, you're feeling pretty damn good at that point. If you got 8 guys that you feel check the starting caliber box.
I think about that 2011 team.
Yeah.
And you and I don't know if we talked, but the first 10, 9 of the 10 had all started.
Yeah, we had 9 starters.
9 had all started SEC games, and the 10th was Lyle Collins, who's a true freshman and 5-star and the number 1 offensive lineman in the country. So I kind of look at that as Lance Hurd in that spot. So while
to be fair, it looked worse in the spring game because guys like Charles Turner were out and Lunsford's not there.
I don't give a single shit about the spring game.
Yeah.
Not one. I watched baseball. I did not watch the spring game. I went back and fast forwarded through just to kind of get a sense of what they did, and saw the Kyron Lacey one-handed grab, and I thought LaTerrence Welch played well. I can tell you some of that stuff, but the people melting over Alabama, I don't care about that either. I don't care if you're good in the spring game. I watched Stephen Rivers, and I love Stephen Rivers, by the way, as a person, but I watched him be the best quarterback in 2013 in the spring game.
Yeah.
He was gone the next year. You know what I mean? I just don't care. I don't care what you do in the spring game.
No. That's fair. So, no, look, you're not –
But with Bama.
It's not the deepest you've ever been, but you're deep enough on the offensive line. Now, the guard from Wyoming ended up signing with USC today. They continue to be very hot in the transfer portal. There's no news yet on Wycheck out of A&M, though, I believe. Probably some sort of bidding war taking place right now.
Yeah, so Matthew Wyckoff.
Wyckoff,
yeah.
not Wycheck.
No, I knew you meant. Frank Wycheck.
Now the Minneapolis Miracle.
The Miracle.
The Music City Miracle.
Yes, the Music City Miracle. I was watching that live.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He threw it forward, but it was still tight.
No, it was good.
They called it good. Can you
was
review
good.
at the time?
Yes.
Huh. I thought you couldn't review at the time.
That was 2000. No, or 99. Right? That was when the Rams beat them. That was the 99 season. Instant replay in 1999. But I don't think they reviewed that.
I'll read a little bit about it.
Yeah. Okay. It was good. It was good. I'll stand by that.
Let's see.
The problem is you're looking at Kevin Dyson, who didn't move his body, right? So Kevin Dyson was forward and reached back for the catch. But if you look at where Wycheck threw the ball and where it ultimately landed, it was a lateral. It was good. I have no problem with that.
Let me just look at the replay and see what
okay.
Yeah, but anyway, keep going.
Okay, so real quick then about, so Wyckoff, we'll see if they add an offensive lineman. I would love it if they do. Or maybe it's a year where you finally see a young guy like Bo Bordelon or somebody step up and provide you good depth. You have recruited that position. You've got numbers. Let's see if someone can step up. So as far as Bama, I'll tell you this. I'm gonna stay true to this. The biggest difference with Alabama this year to years past was not quarterback or running back or receivers. They didn't get great receiver production, obviously. They were not very good at receiver. But the biggest difference, all right, here we go. All right, let's see. Lorenzo Neal. Look at Lorenzo Neal.
Lorenzo Neal hands it to Wycheck.
He throws it, so it's where the ball left. See? He throws the ball.
Okay.
He throws the
that
ball.
That looks about on the line.
But where is his arm?
That's what I'm saying. Okay. I think his line's about like arms like right there.
Okay, so let's say the line, and he goes behind the line or even on the line.
It's like.
I'm good with it.
It's good with it.
I'm good with it.
From that angle. Nowadays, we would have an angle where you completely pick it apart, but I'm good with it.
I'm good with it.
Shout out Frank Wycheck.
23 years later, we're good with it. Just so y'all know. We're good. See, we're good with it.
We'll allow the Music City Miracle.
We'll allow it to stand. The call on the field stands.
I apologize for saying that he threw it forward.
After further
Official
review,
ruling, yes.
The call on the field stands.
There you go.
It is a touchdown. The biggest difference from Alabama in years past is they were not good on either line of scrimmage. Their offensive line could not protect.
Which still doesn't make sense.
I get
to
it,
me.
but their offensive line could not protect, and Bryce Young had to be a Houdini, and Jahmyr Gibbs had to be Jahmyr Gibbs. And then on the defensive line, like, people ran the ball against Alabama. That was always the thing with Nick's defenses. And I think that in his attempt to adjust to offenses, he, in a sense, I don't want to say abandoned, but doesn't have he doesn't have Ashawn Robinson and Marcel Darius and those interior linemen that were just Jaron Reed, these space-eating monsters. And I think as a result, teams can run the ball against Alabama now.
Yeah.
And when Alabama doesn't dominate the line of scrimmage the way they have in the past, they're not the same.
What's weird about it is you are right. Like, objectively, they have not been nearly as good on the lines. At times, they haven't even been good on the offensive line. But the recruiting hasn't fallen off, which is where it becomes a bit confusing. You know, I mean, is it because the game changed? Is it losing Doug Marrone or something? Like, I don't.
Well, so there's two things I would tell you. Number one is, like, yes, the game has changed for sure. But the other thing I'll tell you is the transfer portal. Like, Alabama's added guys in the portal. Like, last year they added Tyler Steen from Vanderbilt, who was the top left tackle, and it didn't matter. They added Harrell, the receiver from Louisville, who was like the top receiver in the portal. Didn't matter. Now they got Jahmyr Gibbs, which was big. They added Eli Ricks. Eli Ricks didn't play half the season.
No.
You know what I mean? So, like, they haven't had great success in the transfer portal. They've lost guys, so you can recruit all these 5 stars and whatever you want, but if they stay for a year and leave and the guys you bring in don't adequately replace them, like, then what is your roster? So I'm really less concerned. Like, I'll put it to you this way. Look at LSU's transfers a year ago. Jarek Bernard-Converse, Mekhi Gardner, Joe Fouché, Greg Brooks, all dudes that made huge plays in the Alabama game.
Jaden Daniels.
I didn't even talk about the offense. Jaden Daniels. Like, yes. So my point is, like, Brian Kelly hit in the portal, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Alabama didn't. So, yeah, I mean, you can recruit these 5-star number 1 classes and all, but if you don't keep those guys, who are you replacing them with? And do they matter? Like, for years and years, we always had the conversation here, meaning in Baton Rouge, around LSU, about, like, man, LSU keeps losing record number of guys early to the draft. How is Nick able to get all these guys to stay 4 years, right?
I guess they're not staying anymore.
They're not staying. Yeah. Not only they're not staying to go, like, they're not staying like after 1 year. They're bouncing, man. Like, Drew Sanders had an amazing career at Arkansas. He was a 5-star linebacker, was at Bama for 1 year, went to Arkansas. He's going to be a top 50 pick in this draft.
Well, look at, I mean, and this is not Alabama, but it just proves what everybody's kind of dealing with. Look at Bear Alexander leaving Georgia for USC, right?
That's weird.
No. It's money. It's just
money.
No,
but Georgia can pay. If
no,
they
but they didn't want. They didn't deem him worth it.
That's fine.
Which is, maybe a bit of a flex.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that weird though. USC obviously probably offered him way more because they need him way more. Like, Georgia could still need him, but USC's front 7 was shit last year, and they've done a really good job of adding pieces. Really good job. A few all-conference guys added in now, but nobody as good as Bear Alexander.
Do us a favor, please, if you're watching live on YouTube. Thank you. Smash the like button. As always, subscribe up to the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. If you are watching on demand, thank you. And please still smash the like button. If you're listening on demand on podcast, please subscribe up to the
rate and review
Scone T
that helps grow
podcast. Hey, so we're doing this live here on Wednesday. Tomorrow is the draft. We'll be at Don Juan Cigar Bar. Should we bring the Whiskey and Wine LAB trophy to Don Juan tomorrow?
Yeah,
or should we wait until Whiskey and Wine returns?
No, I don't know. I feel like it's an honorary Whiskey and Wine. I feel like it plays.
Kinda, right?
Spring Whiskey and Wine. I can't wait. That's actually why I'm keeping it pretty chill tonight. Like, I'm going to get out of here right after show night, is because I'm planning on going a little hard on Thursday night.
So, last year I know you and Jake had to bounce early because you're on air early. Are you going to close it down?
No. Last year I was.
Oh, you were at the Pels.
I got that last second invite. My boy,
that's right.
Shout out my boy Kyle Lunison Scroat, hit me up last second and said, "Hey, I got us courtside tickets to the Pels. Come on." But I was such a real one at first. I said, "I can't do it, dude." And then I was like, wait, what the fuck? I have to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it. But Hester started with us and then left because he was responsible.
No, I mean, I don't know if I'll go till like midnight, but you know me, dude. You get me in the
Yeah,
you
no,
get me
it's
on
gonna
a
be hard to
bender.
get
I'm not bailing early.
So they the draft last year surprised. I think the NFL did a good job last year of actually making the first round move a little more, and so I think we were done by like 10:30. So like normally when you're thinking 11:30, like 4.5 hours for the first round, I think last year it did move a little better. And
I got 10:30 easy mode, baby.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to be looking at for sure. And hopefully by the end, Otter is just completely obliterated. Otter and Hanny are doing their show from Don Juan tomorrow.
Oh, hell yeah.
So they're going to be at the Don Juan Cigar Company. So, like, if you've ever been to Don Juan, when you're looking at it, left side is retail, right side is bar. So they're going to be in the retail shop for their show from 6 to 8. We'll start at 7 with the live stream, and they'll come over at 8 and join us.
That's going to be so much fun, man. I want to be clear. I don't know shit about the draft, and
doesn't matter. It's
anything. So I was going to say, anything that I say tomorrow, I'm just going to be regurgitating. So it's like, just know that I'm probably not going to talk about the draft tomorrow, but I'm going to have a very good time. We're going to have a very good time. Come hang out. Come smoke some cigars. Drink some drinks.
Thanks to everybody who's commenting. Please get your questions in. T-Bob,
yeah, I'm
at
logging
some point
them. I got
we'll
them
log
logged.
them, and okay, we'll get to them.
I'm logging them as they come in tonight.
And
I'm on my P's and Q's tonight.
And we haven't forgotten you, Facebook. Dustin Bolello, Mike Janola, Ryan DeLon. Thanks for being there. We appreciate y'all as well.
It's called Meta, Matt.
No, it's Facebook. Look, it's
no, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Fuck,
look,
I will always call Meta Facebook.
All right, do you want to talk about LSU baseball or with the Saints should do at 29?
Let's talk about LSU baseball.
All right.
Shout out Colonels. My little brother's a Nichols grad, so he was talking shit. Hey, man.
Because he beat LSU's B team with Dylan Cruz. It was like Dylan Cruz and the B team.
Yeah, but hey, man, they made some awesome plays.
They did. They were awesome.
That catch got number 1 in SportsCenter top 10 to end the game. Cool. It was fucking cool. It was cool watching him rush the field. Like, that's what's so bad. That's what sports so badass for. Like, how about Wes Toops, a kid who was at LSU, went back to Thibodeau, where he's originally from, to find his sports there. Now he returns to the box and he leaves with a win. Like that's cool. And I'm not being head patting here because again, Nichols earned that win against the number 1 team in the country. Why would you not be super excited about that?
Hat tip. They were good.
But I love seeing Thatcher Hurd do well. There we go. Yes, sir. What is this? Corpse Survivor number 2. But yeah, I love seeing Thatcher Hurd do well. Like, that's probably my biggest takeaway. It feels like he's continuing to trend in the right direction.
I hope so. I think
he needs to be a piece of the puzzle.
So, I've arrived at this conclusion, and I've talked to enough people, and I'm comfortable saying this now. I've suspected it for a while, but I'm comfortable saying it now. I think Hurd is still feeling the effects of his back injury from last year. And even if it's not necessarily still hurting him, because his velocity's there, I mean, you could see the movement on his slider, like the stuff, as people call it, is very good. He's just not commanding it. So if your stuff is good but you're not commanding it, what that tells you is, like, your mechanics are off. Well, why are his mechanics off? Because he's protecting his back. And I don't know if that is just a mental thing, to be confident enough to just get out there and go and let it rip.
Yeah.
Or if he's like doing something different to protect himself mechanically so it doesn't re-injure or something like that.
Sure, him and Wes are working through that.
But if he starts commanding his stuff, it's a game changer because, I mean, this is a guy they were counting on to be the number 2.
Yeah.
You know, behind Paul Skeens. And right now he's relegated to, well, let's just see when we can throw you out there to get you some work, and hopefully you don't walk everybody. You know.
Well, it is that, right? But with the hope that he kind of refines some of that form.
Well, absolutely,
right?
that's the hope.
Yeah.
Of course, that's hope. So I mean,
but
you give
I'm
me
saying
4
there are
innings
some
of
arms where
1-run
you're
ball.
kind of just throwing him out there like,
no doubt, but
we need to get through this.
But that's what he is right now because they tried him in every role.
Yeah, for sure.
So like,
but I mean, he's had that's 2 pretty good appearances in a row, right? Or at least 2 trending positive appearances in a row. No, I'd have to remember what he did last week. I feel like I left in last week. I was saying, I'm glad to see Thatcher Hurd look okay.
I don't know that he looked good last time out.
Maybe not.
Javen Coleman, he didn't pitch on the weekend. Javen Coleman got the start again in the midweek last week and pitched the first inning, and then Hurd came in after. But I think there was still, like, the problem was the walks. Hang on, I got it right here. So,
God, there's so many. Who's this gigantic table of good-looking young people? I just want to live vicariously through them. They're so full of life. They're in their mid-20s, young working professionals.
So last
Everybody's
week,
so stylish.
Yeah, last week against ULL, he only recorded one out. He went a third of an inning.
Oh, okay, never mind.
And then
it must have been 2 appearances ago then when he was all right.
He walked 2, gave up 2 hits, and 2 runs. I mean, it was.
What did he do against Tulane? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
1 inning, struck out 2, walked 1.
But he
threw 2 wild pitches. No, it was bad. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's he hadn't had a. I mean, he hadn't had a good outing.
Okay, well, that makes last night even better then, giving you 4 like that.
But you hope that it's not a one-off. That's the thing. So if Thatcher Hurd has or is starting to find it, that is massive. Because, like, even if, like, best case, Ty Floyd and Christian Little keep pitching well, and they all keep pitching well, then Hurd as a number 4, like, look at scenarios where you could need a 4th starter. You could need a 4th starter in Hoover for sure.
Yep.
You hope you don't need to play a 4th game in a regional, but
you could.
But if you do get into a Monday scenario, that's your guy, and then you could definitely end up in a scenario if you come in the losers bracket in Omaha where you need a number 4. So there are scenarios where he could end up pitching like really meaningful games for you.
I'm not sure that this is 1-to-1 because I believe this was only caused. Yeah, my bad. Eat the last 2. My bad. Because this was caused, I think, by an injury. But I'll just never forget the Caleb Gilbert performance against Oregon State, right? And Thatcher Hurd is one of those guys where he has way better stuff than Gilbert had. But, like, he's one of those guys where I at least want to keep him working, keeping him action, because if it comes down to it and you're kind of forced to put him out there, if he puts it together, he can have a performance like he did in that Texas game, right? And maybe he can pull something out when it matters most. But look, you got Javen Coleman back with shoes, Ackenhausen coming back, which you really love to see. So there's some positive news on that front. You're trending in the right direction. And that win on Sunday, I mean, I know we started with the Nichols game, but that win on Sunday was so badass, dude. Oh, my God. Finding a way to win that game, drinking those delicious Ole Miss tears as you get down to your last strike, you take the lead. And then I thought for sure Ole Miss had knocked it out in the bottom of the 9th, dude. I remember in my head I'd gone through all the stages of grief. As that ball's in the air, I'm like, yeah, hey, look, man, you know what? You still won 2. It's like, yeah, look, you got the lead. Like, you showed fight. Like, it is what it is. And then it went back to being like, fuck you. All at once.
A warning track fly in the Biddy Ballpark.
Yeah, I continue to love seeing Gavin Guidry and Griffin Herring, especially what Griffin Herring did on Friday night.
Griffin Herring is going to be a weekend rotation guy next year. It's a bummer about Chase Shores because so they've confirmed that now, obviously. Chase Shores, I was told he was having Tommy John this week. So
I thought he had it last week.
I was told he was having it this week.
I don't know. Leah Van.
Did she report he had it last week?
I thought she reported that she had it last week. I'll double check.
He may have. I thought it was this week, but that's fine.
But either way, that doesn't really fucking matter. It's confirmation of what we knew. What is kind of a bummer is when I was reading about it, I did stumble across his stats again and forgot that against like A&M, Arkansas, and Tennessee, he had 18 innings with a sub-2 ERA and 15 Ks, and you're like, shit.
Yeah, he was great. I mean, he was your first guy out of the bullpen. And then he went down, and Edwards became your first guy out of the bullpen. Now Edwards is done. And the shame of it for Edwards is his LSU career is over. Like, he's going to sign wherever he gets drafted. Because it's so late in the season that Edwards wouldn't be able to pitch next year.
Smoke drink.
Oh, you smell one?
Yep. Anyway, continue.
So Edwards wouldn't be able to pitch next year, right? I mean, it's your – like, people made a thing about him throwing a football against Ole Miss before. Did you see the video of him throwing a football before Ole Miss?
Oh, no.
So there's like a video of Edwards throwing a football. People are like, why is he throwing a football? Well, again, I smell it now.
Yeah.
I smell it. It's weird the things I smell, but I smell smoke.
I feel like it's coming back.
I smell like smoke. I do, like, if you had a charcoal grill, I would smell the smoke. Anyway. So Edwards, like, so throwing a football is a different motion than throwing a baseball, right? I mean, football is more shoulder.
Yeah.
And a baseball is all torque on your elbow. So, like, if he's got the elbow injury, throwing a football isn't that big of a deal. And if he's going to have surgery and shut it down for a year anyway. It doesn't. I mean, what does it matter if he?
I mean, he's
it's
not.
Just what it is,
you know.
So anyway, my
he's not going to go out there and throw a football if he's not supposed to.
Right.
That's what I'll say.
Especially like in uniform on the field,
Yeah,
like with the coaches right there. No, but like, and again, just to be clear, I'm speculating here. This is just my opinion. Like I think Garrett Edwards' time at LSU is done.
So yeah, Leah
like,
said according to a source close to the situation, Shores underwent Tommy John surgery last week.
Last week, okay.
And
so
he did not travel to Oxford.
So if you look at Edwards, if he were to sit out next year, rehab, and then come back the following season, he loses all of his leverage. So it's a better scenario for him
brutal. He was
to
doing
get drafted,
so well.
to sign, to go through your rehab, and then start your pro career. So
He was just putting up zeros.
He was doing great, man.
What's the word on Tommy White? Truly day to day? I know I heard Jay Johnson say day to day.
It's a groin. So I think my understanding is it's really not that big of a deal.
Cool.
And you talk about a groin, and I think that's a big deal. Like, but you know, there are varying degrees.
It was weird to see Jay though in his post Ole Miss press conference say like, you know, I thought his body language looked pretty chill. Basically saying like, you know, Tommy White didn't seem like he was stressing it, so I don't think I'm stressing it too much.
So anyway, and then Trey Morgan, my understanding, he's just kind of banged up. He just gave him a day off. He got hit on the hand.
Yeah,
over the weekend.
Trey Morgan feels like a guy that just has been battling nagging stuff for like 2 years.
Yeah. Well, last year he played the whole season with a knee brace.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He never
tough as
ran
hell.
full speed last year.
No Zion bullshit here.
Yeah, I know.
He's more like C.J. McCollum, putting it out there, even if sometimes it's kind of like, you know, even if it's kind of hurting him and hurting how we talk about him.
I kind of feel
he's still
bad
toughing out for the team.
I kind of feel bad that I talk shit about C.J. McCollum's shot selection when you find out he was playing with like torn ligaments and torn rotator cuffs and shit. It's like, oh fuck, my bad, dude.
I mean, well, like, okay. Look,
but then again, I didn't really talk shit. I just did say his shot selection.
Well, but also his shot selection is different, right? You don't have to shoot a shot, right?
Yeah.
But beyond that, like, it's not when I say give an athlete credit for injuries, it's not to say don't critique him because that's going to be normal. I'm just crediting him for accepting that that's the reality.
Yeah.
That people will shit talk you when you know you're going out there for the team and you're not 100%. The biggest mental hurdle is to accept that you're going to be judged, right? And the biggest external mental hurdle. Internally, it's just, am I going to get hurt, blah, blah. But, like, that's why I hated the I don't feel like Zion quotes. It feels like somebody who is so worried. And he's obviously never really cleared because he hasn't done what he needs to conditioning-wise, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, congrats. You closed all your rings.
But, oh, nice. Hell yeah. But, like, that's why I hated that I need to feel like Zion quote. Because, like, no. You have to be willing to be vulnerable and be less than, but play to put it on for the team. And that's what McCollum does. That's what Trey Morgan has done for, like, 2 years now, seemingly. So shout out to the real ones.
For sure. I hope LSU just takes this time over the next 4 weeks, gets healthy, and jams throughout May and June. I mean, it could be a really, really
Last
fun.
week was so huge getting that sweep, I feel like, dude. And then when everybody else fell, too.
Arkansas being swept, that was your pivotal weekend, right? Arkansas being swept, you sweeping, and especially
Vanderbilt
because
as well felt good to watch their ass get swept.
Whoa, what are we looking at here, friend? Marion McClain.
Wiggins, who are all these good-looking young people?
Hey, we got a blend
50?
here.
A table of 50, Matt.
50? No, 15.
15? 50 or 15?
No,
5-0,
that's
dude.
not 50 chairs.
It's not full yet. There's more good-looking young people on the way. They keep trickling in.
What are we talking about here, Wiggins? This is bottle number 0.
Yeah, I know.
Holy Magoli Friholi. What are we talking about here, Wiggins?
So Marion McClain is the first woman to ever get arrested for bootlegging. It's Jefferson's, it's kind of like the presidential pick.
Yeah. Jefferson's presidential is fantastic.
So I would encourage you to be the first person to try it.
Are you fucking kidding me? So this is a blend of, let's see, 14-year-old, 11-year-old. Thank God T-Bob's not here hearing me say that. Weeded double barrel. Oh, weeded double barrel. Wow, a rum cast finish and an 8-year-old. Wow. 102 proof, bro. That is my speed. We can open this?
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah. Do you want to do the honors?
No, you got it.
Oh, I'm so excited. I don't want to. Can I get a fresh? I hate to ask. Can I get a fresh glass?
Of course.
I don't want to pour it in with the Scotch glass.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Wiggins. Oh, thank you. I will do the honors here. I'll just smell the cork, and I'll suck at the cork. You ever seen that SNL skit?
Yes.
Suck at the cork. Where are we? Oh, there it is. There's the perforation. For all those, here you go. Thank you. For all those who are listening and not watching, Matt Wiggins, the wonderful CFO here at Oliver Twist, who takes care of us when we're here,
So what
is letting me open the Marion McLean Jeffersons. Holy shit. What is the secondary price on this? I am really excited.
Shit! Did I miss a fucking a teen joke? Bilbo
Yes.
said I missed.
Yes.
Oh, crap.
Okay, you want me to do it again?
No.
No, let's do it again. All right.
Okay.
This is so it's a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys.
Yeah.
It's a 14-year-old,
Oh, jailbait.
11-year-old,
Okay, I feel dirty. We're
weeded
done.
double barrel,
done. We're
rum
done.
cask, and 8-year-old.
Oh, no, then we're done.
I am really excited about this. Holy moly! Look, it's got the little booklet explaining more about it. So this
Oh,
is,
wow, this is a book. It's
so
leather bound.
But this is the kind of thing, though, that I'll tell you, and I'm gonna be very honest with you. Not that I would ever lie to you, especially when we're talking about whiskey.
You don't like
We're
gimmicks?
talking about sports, of course I'd lie to you, but not about whiskey. A lot of so here you go. Look, Marion McLean, 285, 269. That's presidential. Never mind.
In 1799.
So before you start, can I say
Yes.
something? Okay. One of the things you have to be leery with about whiskey is brilliant marketers sell you a story, right? They're selling you on
Yeah, absolutely.
on
I have a delicious smelling leather bound book in my hand
Right.
that just came on the bottle.
and so Marion McLean, the first woman bootlegger on the blah 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 blah. That's all fine and good. Okay, now
Whoa!
wow,
A
look
full
at that.
picture comic book.
So this is my point. Is like so, in my opinion, the biggest sham
God, Mary McLean was hot.
in whiskey is something Jefferson's does, which is Jefferson's Ocean. Jefferson's Ocean is fine. It's a fine whiskey.
Is Thomas Jefferson?
No. Yes.
Okay.
But Jefferson's Ocean is the biggest sham in whiskey because they basically sell you on the fact that they put the barrels on these fucking shark ships that go out in the water, and so they're constantly moving, and because they're in the boat, and the salinity of the water gets in the barrel, and all this fucking shit. They're selling you a story. They're selling you a story.
Isn't there one where they play like metal music during it or something like Metallica?
Oh, that's
all like
blackened,
metal?
yeah. But they age it to in Metallica music. It's called blackened anyway. So you got to be leery.
The Inner Sandman finish is delicious.
So Jefferson's Ocean is fine. It's a fine whiskey. It's just not worth $100. They're selling you a fucking story.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Jefferson's makes it a wheated ocean. So Jefferson's Ocean wheated, which is one of the best things I've ever had. Shark ships are not. I don't give a fuck. That's fair. I would pay $100 for that bottle. It's shark ship. Yeah, they put shark. They put them on these literal boats that go on like these shark excursions.
Oh, on shark ships.
Shark ships.
Okay.
Yeah, so they put them on boats. They go out in the water. They're like hunting sharks or like saving sharks. I don't know what the fuck, but anyway, that's what it is. And so on the bottle say voyage, this or that. So anyway, I'm skeptical because Jefferson's has done this before, right?
Yeah.
Where they're selling you a fucking story. But I do love this mash bill of this blend here. And I'm really fascinated to see how it comes out.
Do we need to get fresh glasses?
We did. Or I did.
I did not.
You might want to get one from Wiggins.
Can I get a fresh glass to try this? My dog, Matt.
I also do like the curvature of the Jefferson's bottle. It makes it very easy to pour, and you don't spill because of the solidness of the curvature. So watch as you pour.
In 1799,
See how easy it poured, and you don't spill.
Marion McLean was arrested for distilling and selling whiskey without paying taxes. She didn't do it to
I get right
rebel,
away.
but as a war-widowed mother, she had to find a way to provide for her children. Marion McLean is my 8th-generation grandmother and the inspiration for Jefferson's bourbon. Now, on our 25th anniversary, my father and I are honored to share Marion's spirit through this exceptionally bold and balanced blend. That's pretty cool.
It's cool. It's a very cool story. I didn't know they were related.
Let me see if I can taste the widowed heartbreak in it.
I'll tell you on the nose. I would tell you this on the nose, which some of you may not give a shit about, but I'll tell you. The immediate thing I got is the thick, syrupy sweetness of the rum. There's a rum aged rum cask finish is 17% of the blend.
I find that description to be a little on the nose.
Oh, is that the? Oh, wait.
Just a couple of juice nerds over here.
I know. No. Sorry. All right. Willett's over here just breaking out like Wiggins is over here breaking out just like mega banger bottles right now. Like, look at all the really expensive shit I have that you'll never find anywhere else.
That is wildly different than what we had earlier. Why am I? Is it how I'm drinking it? I mean, I love it. It's fucking delicious. It's like everything we drink here. It's great.
I'll tell you this. You want to know the biggest difference with this one and the one we had earlier is the finish. Like, do you notice how long you still taste it and feel it and it opens?
Yeah.
Like, that will certainly illustrate complexity of a spirit. So, like, this is very deep and complex, which is evident, right? I mean, you have 5 different whiskeys blended in this bottle. So you should get a lot of complexity, a lot of age, a lot of oak, a lot of spice, a lot of syrupy flavors.
Yeah, it's definitely doing a lot as you set the glass down and you're sitting there. And it's continuing, it's coming in waves.
That's something I always look for. Like, do I get a full mouthfeel without just burning the fuck out of my mouth? And then do I get a long, complex finish? That's what I would basically describe as the characteristics that I love. Like, can I get a big, full-flavored, whiskey that's not just going to be just fire in my mouth?
I prefer just a quick, short finish in my mouth. After the American Revolution, the country faced tremendous war debt as people coped with the harsh reality of post-war life. Among them lived Mary McLean, a war-widowed mother of 5 intent on providing for her family. Demand for spirits increased. A strong-willed Marion saw her chance for a better life and began distilling and selling whiskey. The government saw the spirit trade as an opportunity to pay off war debt and enacted the so-called whiskey tax, which provoked widespread outrage and protest. But Marion needed every cent she could make to provide for her children. She did not pay the tax and was arrested and imprisoned for her offense.
Wow. I'm wowing this, not that.
It's a cool story.
I'm going to tell you the other thing, too. For a spirit that is 102 proof.
Oh, look, it's five different distinct bourbons for each of her 5 children.
Oh. Again, telling you a story, which I really don't give a shit about.
Alas, no appreciation for the narrative, for the tale.
That's all fine and good. But there's lots of whiskeys that have this great fucking story. That this place is popping off, by the way. A little,
but
look behind you.
Top, yeah.
The whole bar's full.
Right.
Like, it's
no. Don Juan, look. Can we just talk about it? We've had the best fucking spring of my entire life. I mean, it's just insane. It's 50 degrees every morning.
Yeah.
It's 7 degrees every day. It's supposed to be 70 again next week. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm here for it. Like last year we had a great spring. And this spring even outdoes that one. Somewhere along the line, shit got really good. We are orange looking. Holy crap.
Can I also point this out? On Facebook, we look orange. On YouTube, we look perfectly normal.
What? Not on my YouTube. That's even weirder. We look very orange on my YouTube.
What? Mine looks perfectly fine.
No, yours looks great.
But your YouTube looks like my Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder, do we look orange to you? Look, we look orange there. It's so weird. Look.
Orange, you glad I didn't say banana?
We look perfectly normal here. Yeah, weird, right?
Knock, knock.
Oh, no, that was April 26th. Are we not fucking live, Moose?
No, we're live. I got live. You aren't live, bitch.
Oh, what happened?
You're watching an old one.
Oh, no. What happened here? They turned down the light or something? We are Oompa Loompas. That's what we are. We are Oompa. We are Oompa Loompas. All right, we got 10 minutes. Do you want to talk draft or you want to get questions? Get questions.
Yeah,
go.
we're going to talk a lot of
questions.
drafts
Questions. Go.
El Castion asks Scone T. Gulf South wants to know, you don't think Les was ever considered a top 5 coach? No.
Yes, he was.
You can no. But I mean, but he was never one. I don't know what to tell you. Like you can put out top 5 results and not be a top 5 coach.
A lot of maple
He was a top
syrup
5.
on
He was
here,
a top
too.
5 recruiter. He was a top 5 recruiter. But I can't
recruit
grant
you?
him that. Yeah.
I mean,
can't
like,
grant
did
him,
he do an in-home with you or anything like that?
Yeah.
Because I've heard from so many.
Oh, no, he did not do an in-home with me. Stud did.
I've heard from so many guys that were recruited by Les that, like, as weird as it sounds, when you talk about, like, in the living room, closing, like, he was the best, which is so weird to think.
I'm not a good person to ask because I was always coming to LSU, you know? Like, I do remember one of my most fond memories of me and my grandpa, Rip, is that at junior day when he brought me into his office with my grandpa and he offered me there. And so, I mean, whatever. I'm not, I was always going to LSU, so I'm not a good person to ask.
Maybe he knew that was a thing.
But
to get Bobby Sr. in there.
Look, he was a good recruiter. He hired well.
Yeah.
But we talk about top 5 football coach, which maybe that's a bit unfair, right? Like, maybe you could say that he was, but he was, or maybe you could say that he was when you look at, like, overall. But he did take over a great situation, and granted, he got back in 2011, but then again, ironically, his weakest part was the actual coaching of the football. Bilbo Baggins, that's going to T. Will Stetson be the first national championship quarterback to go undrafted?
I think he will get drafted. Did Eric Crouch get drafted?
Probably not, because he didn't want to play receiver, right?
Well, he did convert to receiver, and he went to the Rams. I just can't remember if he got drafted. Oh, he's a 3rd-round pick. Eric Crouch is a 3rd-round pick. Wow, crazy.
How many draft picks do the Saints trade away?
Oh, Tommy Frazier. Oh, and he didn't. Well, Tommy. No, not. I'm sorry. Tommy Frazier, and Tommy Frazier,
Charlie Ward.
But Charlie Ward had already declared he was going to play basketball. But Tommy Frazier went undrafted.
How many?
Right. I want to make sure but he had like a blood clot issue. He did not get drafted.
Wow. Ask Scone T. Alex G. How many draft picks do the Saints trade away this weekend? All of them.
I'll say
Saints only like to pick 3 players per draft.
So they have. That's not true. But they have 8 picks, and your 8 draft picks aren't going to make the team.
No.
So like, there's no sense in making 8 picks. If there's someone you're bullish on and you want to package picks and move up, I'm fine with it. If you feel like you've got a higher chance of a hit rate on a player that you really like.
This is also not true at all.
I'll say they make 5. I'll say they make 5 picks.
This is also not true at all. Bilbo says Les recruited thugs and told them they could get away with anything on campus, and they did. That's not true at all. We had one of the strictest weed policies in the entire SEC. We had one of the strictest behavioral policies in the entire. Like, that's patently
He's alluding
false.
to what happened at the end.
No, but that's just a big fight.
And
that's just a fight. That's one night that spiraled out of control.
No, not the Shady's thing.
Oh.
Like, I'm talking about the end of the Les era and like the Title IX shit now with Drake Davis. So that's what he's alluding to. But I agree with you in the sense that the hardest part for fans often is, and this is in every sport and this is at every fan base, fans convince themselves of narratives, and anything to support that narrative, they double down on it. They ignore anything that works in contrary to it.
Well, how about this? Les kicked Tyrann Mathieu off the team. What are we talking about? For weed! Not even for anything bad. Also, problematic use of thugs. Ask Scone T. Egotter says, favorite sandwich franchise? I'm sorry I didn't wear my Panthers jersey there, Bill.
Can you name some sandwich franchises for me?
I mean,
like Jimmy John's, Jersey Mike's.
It's kind of chalk, but I'm just kind of at Jimmy John's, you know?
So I would say Jimmy John's, but honestly, one time, like a long time, I used to love Jimmy John's. Like when Eric and I first started dating, we would go to Jimmy John's on Perkins all the time. And then I got sick one time from it, and I haven't been back. It's
that's how it goes. You get a bad batch,
and it's not their fault. Like it's not their. I mean, it was just one. I probably had some bad salami or whatever it was, and I've never gone back.
It's like when I drink gin to the point of pissing myself, and I still haven't really drank gin.
Yeah,
in like
you just
10
don't
years.
drink it. It's like I like Jaeger. I'll never drink Jaeger ever again. But that's shitty. That isn't very good.
You know what? I'm not going to sit out here and say it's best. I don't go often enough. But there's a place, I think it's maybe called like Witch or something.
No, Witch. Hey, you know what was good? That for like a minute and a half.
I mean, Inga's, but that's local. That's not really like a franchise.
So this was like I endorsed them for a minute and a half like 10 years ago, but Mama Goldberg's, they had one off of
I've been a couple times. We used to go visit some other SEC campuses.
I think it's based out of Auburn,
yes,
maybe.
I'm about to say I ate it at Auburn.
It's like every sandwich I ever had there was fucking awesome. Oh. Mama Goldberg's.
I eat a sandwich from Fresh Market every day, actually.
Oh, that's good. I love Fresh Market. Drew loves to go to Fresh Market.
Look up. Next time you go, look up.
When he was
They've got these incredible art installations all over the ceiling that I never realized until I was stoned in there one day, and I finally looked up and I was like, look at all this shit.
That's cool. They love Drew there. Ever since he was a baby, we would go there. He loved to go to Fresh Market.
Yeah.
So he just kind of roams
Which
around.
one?
Perkins.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Mr. John and Gloria and Barbara and Byron, like they all know him, dude. He's kind of like the mayor in there. Just walks in and just,
Look up next time you go in. I'm telling you, you're going to be like, what? This has been here the entire time?
I'm pretty sure I know exactly what you're talking about. I just don't care.
Like the little musical installation and then like the little farm installation, the little living room installation. Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah, great.
Ask Scone T. Bilbo wants to know top 3 favorite NHL jerseys.
How do the Blackhawks still have a jersey? I'm going to eat this since you've just been looking at it.
No, you got it.
That's so racist, right? If the Cleveland Indians can't exist anymore and Chief Wahoo.
I'm not, you know what? I'm not the one I'm not the one to make this judgment. I will say this. I do not like the Red Wings. I grew up liking the Avalanche, like in terms of hockey teams that I liked. But the Red Wings jersey is objectively tight. The old Hartford Whalers jersey, I always really enjoyed. I know this is pretty cheesy and
Mighty
dumb,
Ducks.
but I like. Oh yeah, Mighty Ducks is fucking badass.
Like when Anaheim actually wears the green Mighty Ducks jersey.
But I like the green Mighty Ducks jersey. Actually, is still really cool. That's probably top 3. I really like. I like the early 2000s San Jose Sharks quite a bit, and 90s, I like the Panthers. Bilbo gave me a great Panthers jersey.
In the early whenever the San Jose Sharks became a thing, I definitely had a San Jose Sharks hat just because it was a cool logo.
It's a cool logo. Biting the hockey stick. Ask Scone T, if your sister and father told you they were in love and getting married, would you rather break the news to your mom or fight a medium-sized grizzly bear with your bare hands?
Break the news to my mom.
Yeah, I can't fight that grizzly bear.
What am I going to do about that?
Yeah.
The grizzly bear don't give a shit.
I think at that point you just got to date your mom. Close the circle, Ask Scone T.
No, that's not that's an awful idea.
Bilbo wants to know what kind of weed is T-Bot bringing from Musso tomorrow? The dankest. Musso's going to be so stoned it's going to be unbelievable.
Poor guy. Poor guy. He can't even spell marijuana.
No,
turn him into
definitely
a
not.
fucking
He's like the least stoner personality of anybody you will ever meet in your entire life. There's never anybody that you've gotten less that dude smokes weed vibes from.
But it's why it works.
Than Matthew Musso.
But it's why the bit
Yeah,
works.
I agree.
It's like the Tony from Dutchtown guy back in the day. The guy's from fucking England. I called him Tony from Dutchtown, and everyone got the joke except
Tony
him.
Lightfoot.
He didn't get why. He just didn't get it. I'm like, you know what, Tony? Never mind.
Ask Scone T.
You're fired. Get out of here.
Who will end up
Leave.
being the most important signing out of the portal this year? Raymond wants to know. And is that player on campus already?
Oh yes, it'll be one of the cornerbacks.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're right. Yeah, Deuce JK.
Chestnut or J.K. Johnson or Zy Alexander, one of them.
Ask Scone T. What's your level of excitement for the new BR hockey team?
2. I'm excited.
Out of 5?
2 out of 10. I'm excited that Baton Rouge has something that will drive people downtown.
I mean, I don't go to anything, so I don't want to lie here. This is a classic. I love the idea of it. I don't know that I'm going to be going a ton. I will go every now and then. at least once a season. But
like if we have
I just don't
104.5
do
ESPN
shit.
night and they let us come out and drop the puck or something, I'll go to that. But I'm just not going to. No.
I'd go to drink some beers with the fellas.
There are people that will go, and that's totally cool. And as a kid, I went and saw Kingfish. We would go to
but you
Lafayette and
gotta
watch them play
bring
the
back
ice
the
skaters.
Kingfish, right? Like
I
you
agree.
just have to bring
the
back
only reason
the
they
logo
won't
and
do it, and I've talked about this. I agree with you. It's perfect.
It's perfect. It's literally perfect.
The only reason they won't do it is because they need to sell merch.
It's like the Sharks logo. Yeah, but come on, that many people still have Kingfish merch?
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, we're going to end up with like the baby cakes or some bullshit when the Kingfish is right there.
That's why the baby cakes became the baby cakes. They needed to sell merch.
Yeah,
And they changed from the Zephyrs. I mean, that's why you do a rebranding, is you try to sell all new shit. Even though it's like massively expensive to change your logo and everything, but whatever.
Palmer Lamartiniere says, ask Scone T, would you rather fight a raccoon every time you get in your car or a bear once a year? Raccoon, dude, at a certain point, you're going to get so fucking good at fighting raccoons, it's going to be just, an afterthought.
Every time you get in your car.
Yeah, bro, but you're dying once against a bear. Raccoon's never killing me,
Yeah. What if it's a rabid raccoon?
That's what I'm saying, though. Eventually, I'm going to get to the point. I mean, rabies shots are going to suck. But, like, eventually, I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to be such a fucking beast at beating off raccoons that I'm just going to be, like, roundhouse kicking them out in the air, and they're just going to go flying against a dumpster and die.
I'm proud of you for saying beating off and not making it a joke.
No, like beating them off of me, like off of the car.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I'm proud of you for saying that and not making it a joke.
E. Goddard says, ask Scone T, what's your favorite fried chicken place?
Not fucking Popeyes, I'll tell you that. I'm never going to that shithole ever again. Fuck Popeyes. I'm going to tell you what happened the last time I went. I go through, I'm at the drive-thru. I'm like, I ordered a chicken sandwich.
This is the Popeyes experience.
We don't have chicken sandwiches. I'm like,
yep. Hell yeah.
All right. I'll take a 3-piece with fries.
Nah, fam.
No fries.
Yep.
Well, what do you have? Beans. I was like, man, fuck you. I literally said fuck you and I drove off. And I'm like, I'll never come to this shithole again.
People have talked
ever.
about that as the Popeyes experience.
I'll never fucking come to this shithole again.
Popeyes teaches us valuable lessons about life. Sometimes.
Dude, I'm a simple man.
Shit doesn't work.
Like, I'm really not a giant pain in the ass as a lot of people think I probably am. Like, I get along with people. I work hard. I try to do right by others. I'm a very agreeable person. I'm polite. I'm very respectful. But, like, the thing that I expect in return is, like, if I'm coming to patronize your business, actually pretend that you give a fuck that I came here.
Nah, bro, that dude, that ain't his business.
And I don't give a fuck what was going on in that guy's life in that moment. If he had walked outside, I'd have punched him in the fucking face and spit on him. Like, fuck that. At some point, you have to be an adult human and recognize, like, have some pride in whatever it is you do in life. Like, I don't give a fuck what it is. If you're the CEO of a Fortune 100 or you're whatever the other end of the spectrum is to that, like, or anything in between, have a modicum of pride in your life. And if you don't like it, don't take your bullshit out on me. Fuck you.
I just remember one time going through Burger King by campus.
Fuck that guy.
And the guy was like, nah, man, we ain't serving anybody right now. Drive on. I was like, all right, cool, man. Later, dude. Nah, man, that's Popeyes.
Fuck Popeyes. I'll never go back. And I hate it because as a kid, I used to love getting a Pal Pack with a little toy inside of it. You get the little chicken drum and, like, the biscuit in there and the fries.
Blue Store fried chicken's probably the answer.
All right, I'll go to Blue Store. It's right by Ruckus, too. I'll go get some shoes at Ruckus, and I'll go get some chicken at Blue Store.
Yeah, Blue Store is really good. And I love Empire Wings, but not fried chicken. Ask Scone T from Gandalf the Purple and Gold. Are y'all doing the May the 4th party next week?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for the
Big
reminder.
News.
Yes, thank you for the reminder.
May the 4th be with you. Party going down here in Oliver Twist. It's going to be on Thursday, okay? So no Wednesday Scone T here. Instead, we're coming on Thursday. Big Star Wars theme. They blow it out. Tell your friends. We're going to be nerding out, hanging out. It's going to be awesome.
Are we done?
Yeah. Yeah, we are. Okay, well, last one. Will Dion crash and burn in Boulder or be a success in 2 to 3 years?
I think he's going to win.
Yeah, he's going to win, dude.
And
Long term, he's going to win. And I think he might win more than you think this year.
And I don't know necessarily that Colorado is staying in the Pac-12. I wouldn't be surprised if Colorado went back to the Big 12.
That is literally how much image power Dion brings. And the Pac-12 feels like it's about to dissolve. But they can't even get that TV deal done. But no, look, man.
I'll say this about Deion.
Deion's doing exactly what he told you and the players he was going to do. Like, exactly.
Deion got a lot of people's interest when he was at Jackson, but the reason Deion got the Colorado job is because he won at Jackson.
Yes.
Like, and you could say, well, he had all the best. Well, he recruited good players to Jackson State.
Did you see what he said on Pat McAfee today?
No.
He was like, we've got the guys coming fucking in. Like, you don't know him. We know him. You're going to see. Like, some might be on the plane right now. Like, you're going to see. So he is very confident. No, Greg. Okay, to be fair. The question was 2 to 3 years. Colorado's year one schedule is brutal. I mean, it's a brutal schedule. Like, I remember getting excited about Deion back in the day, or a couple months ago, and immediately putting $100 on the over 4.5. I feel awful about that bet right now. In fact, it's down to 3.5 now.
Oof.
So I don't know that they'll be good here in
bro.
year one, but they will be good eventually. I actually do believe that.
Look at Wiggins. Just pulling out the big guns, man.
What is that?
It's 8-year Willett. Jesus. Anyway.
Will it fit? In my
Come
glass?
to Don Juan tomorrow.
Will it fit my glass?
Come to Don Juan.
Come